I once died of a slow onset lethargy. The doctors could not be bothered to tend to me medically. I was buried with a poem that I wrote from in the abyss. It was a message in a coffin, dropped in the river Styx. Picture this. The coffin floated up to the shore, where it found a newer version of myself, hungry for more. I leant down to pry the coffin slightly ajar. I appeared at my corpse that was rotting, covered in tar. I had asked for this poem, there clutched in my fingertips. So I snatched it and it read a little like this. Dear you, from a friend and an enemy of the past, please feast duly, ensure the sentiments last. I was a lazy writer, hazy-minded, pushing up the daisies like a body buried but breathing, convicted of the crime of a contradiction in reason for feeling too little but having thought too much. Just do not make my mistakes and save a little for lunch. I hunched over, more so than I already was. I tucked into the who, what, where, and chewed the because. I was digesting my introduction, pausing only for breath. And then I carried on reading now that I had a taste for death. You're an impatient writer, crazy like a madman rambling conversations with spirits, fully in the knowledge that his stomach has limits, and yet, nevertheless, you endeavor to finish only when you have stretched to a 72nd minute. So get with it, get to it. You've got nothing to lose. Well, except for your sanity, friends and family who would be appalled if they knew you through opportunities to give back the gift of expression. Oh, unless they forget to mention, you could surrender the truth. See, you lose sight quicker than the blink of an eye, like a REM sleepwalker who dreams meridian skies. Inside, you are skullduggery, out, just dull drudgery, suffocating yourself on the past as you are now. I spluttered and spat that last sentence out of my mouth. How did I know me so well? This was a mere prediction. I listened for the answer, but heard only the addiction. I sat shifting uneasily. Comfort had run away. I looked into the coffin, but saw no more decay. I was stuck in the mud, a drunk gluttonous dud. I was a rat who had to service a thirst for blood. I shuddered once before bending my spinal column to drink. And then I drank until I drowned, and I drowned until I would sink, only resounding the final stanza I'd handed myself. This was a poem of choice, a choice of earth or of hell. Well, now you can take my advice. It's seasoned with criticism. Slowly bring it on board and try to decipher rhythm, or you can be too eager and leave the land of the living having learnt naught but that you were once and are now a victim. If you've listened, then it's over. Go back to the world anew. And if you didn't, it's just begun. I'd write a letter to you. You can take my advice. It's spiced with a little wisdom. Quickly cling to a cause and siphon your cynicism. You can breathe once more if you draw from above the water. If you remember to swim, keep swimming and never falter. Are you listening? Those are the voices of who you love, imploring you to see that you've grown the wings of a dove. I had swum to the surface, my stomach still churning. My sight was sojourning. I had flatlined, then been baptized and was still burning. My words curdled under the thunder. I coughed next, from bowel to jowl, an esophagus cigarette, and in its embers I birthed a sermon on the value of effort. To be better, but never perfect, still a valuable lesson. Oh, and lest I forget to mention, I had recaptured that truth. I clasped it in both hands and returned to the world anew.